After much reading and writing, observation and interviews, and completing a needs assessment for our site, it is my pleasure to present a proposal to Principal of Vista Visions Academy, Dr. Erin English. VVA, moving forward in innovation, student learning, and positive school culture, growing from within. And our current school motto, dream, imagine, make it happen. As VVA was created by merging an existing K-8 school with an existing high school, our K-8 program and our 9-12 program are very different and still operate almost as separate schools with separate cultures. In our goal to have families stay with Vista Visions Academy from kindergarten through 12th grade, VVA's move to a shared K-12 vision, philosophy, and practice is the next step. Through these doors is an incredibly talented, creative, and caring staff of educational leaders who have everything we need to realize our own unique school culture. Our K-12 school vision and culture can grow from within. We have already begun the process of going out in teams to look at and observe and visit various innovative schools locally across San Diego County who are doing fantastic things, and reading about even more online across the country. And now, as we are bringing some of this information back and these observations and sharing what we've seen, now we can take some of these great ideas and adapt them and add them to the already incredible talent and potential right here in our own staff as it exists, and we really can grow from within. So what is on the horizon for VBA? School-wide, consistent and shared lesson and course design and philosophy, K-12, along with a plan supported by the VUSD Blueprint for Educational Excellence and Innovation for a sustainable learning environment that focuses on utilizing technology to prepare students with skills needed for a connected and evolving world. We have an exciting opportunity and challenge as Vista Unified School District's first and only school to focus completely on online and blended learning. We are challenged with setting the bar, and so we are now ready to, now that we have our infrastructure and technology in place, we are now ready to move forward with pursuing and really just figuring out and crafting our identity as a school. I've created some actionable goals and listed them as phases 1 through 5. I prioritized them in order based on what I thought we needed to start with, but it is my realization that we will have to work on some of these simultaneously. I apologize ahead of time for some text-heavy slides, as I wanted to make sure to include language from our Blueprint for Educational Excellence and Innovation to support my findings and my proposal. Phase 1 I see as a staff retreat. We were 2 separate staffs just 3 years ago, operating 2 very different schools, and we have been brought together to create one school. And we have done a great job truly in the 3 years that we've been together, and we've begun a fantastic setting at Vista Visions Academy, but there is more to be done. I see our staff retreat as something that would take place over 2 days or so, and we would really begin with team building activities, setting the purpose and helping us to create our staff culture. And we would start with the question of who are we? And when I asked that from 2 different perspectives. One, who are we as individuals, as teachers? What strengths do we each bring to the table? And I already know it's a pretty rich and diverse staff we have with our small staff. But who are we? And really learning how to embrace everyone's qualities and come together to best utilize each person and what role we can each play. And the second part is, who are we as a school? Who are we as Vista Visions Academy? And that second question will lead us into some rebranding innovation sessions to help create this sustainable learning environment that we seek to create. Rebranding will lend itself to what I called marketing in phase 5. But truly, before we can even market ourselves, we as a staff have to understand who we are. We have to all operate from that same place. So rebranding is where we have to begin as a staff once we've done some team building. During these rebranding sessions, I see ourselves creating school-wide pillars of excellence. That is something I've seen across the board at many different innovative schools I've gone to visit, where these pillars are things that are easy for students to remember and staff to remember as markers of identity of who we are. These are things that are easily remembered and easy to put up all over campus and on social media and on the school district website. We are in a competitive market, of educational market, I should say, where we are competing with schools like us who are usually charter schools and other schools of choice that are outside of our school district. And in order for us to draw students in to this program, we do have to think about this. And so we need to be known. We need to be known for something. We need to be put on the map. And also we need that focus for our students. I also think we should work on it and create a school-wide focus or theme. And I'm not talking about something trendy. I'm talking about something that we will become known for. What is our theme going to be, or what is our focus as a school? The other thing that would be really helpful is for us to create our school logo that reflects those pillars that we create and our VBA focus. Currently, we have the Husky. We are the Vista Visions Academy Huskies, and the Husky has some incredible qualities that we can start with and build upon. But I also think that we need something a little less cute and a little more memorable, something that reflects those pillars, something that is a logo that can actually act as a symbol for us, especially in advertisement and on social media. I anticipate the cost for this retreat to be $500 or less. I think with our small staff and our crafty, creative ways, we can make this affordable for us, but I see it as the number one thing in connecting us as a staff. Phase 2 would be to establish common course and lesson design philosophy that would also include technology integration. This is so important. We really need to decide as a staff how we are going to design our courses and our lessons, and we need a foundation to begin with. We could, as looking at some possible models, we could start with the IB traits, much like Vista Magnet Middle School uses. I know that those IB traits of IB learners are very easy for students to learn and to remember, and also for teachers in creating lessons and courses. Another of my favorites is Tony Wagner's Survival Skills. He's the author of The Global Achievement Gap. Here's a visual. These are his 7 survival skills that after much research, he found that these skills are what our students need in order to be able to go out into the world, to be productive and to add to, in this world, and also create rich, meaningful lives. These are the skills they're going to need, and I would add an 8th one, which is empathy. And so if we were to begin to design our lessons and our courses, addressing these survival skills, and we did it across the board, I think that would be really powerful. Then we have some needed training. Leading edge certification for all teachers who are not yet trained is vital. We are an online and independent learning academy, and therefore we need to understand as teachers all the nitty-gritty ins and outs of creating online and blended courses. The leading edge certification training does that. It gets into the details, and we have plenty of language in our blueprint for our district that supports this and names leading edge training with certification specifically. I believe that the cost for this training is about $600 per teacher, but it will be an investment well made. Once we are all on the same page with learning how to create these online and blended courses and we are certified, then we will all speak a common language. And then the next program element that we need will be to create a digital citizenship policy and internet user agreement. We need this both to comply with the letter of the law and the educational code, but also, as a staff, we have an interesting challenge ahead of us. We are the only K-12 school in Vista Unified School District, and it is our challenge to create a digital citizenship policy that will span and meet the needs of our students kindergarten through 12th grade in teaching them how to be ethical in their use of the internet, which has become so powerful and ubiquitous. This is a great challenge for us, but I know we're up to meet it. This won't cost us anything to put this in place, but we will need to do our research and we'll need to collaborate. Phase 3, if we've completed phases 1 and 2, phase 3 I see as our need to do some vertical alignment of our courses K-12 with, of course, Common Course state standards and our VBA design vision to create a seamless flow of progression for consistent preparation of students for each grade level. We'll also need to develop cross-curricular and integrated studies courses that provide real-world project-based learning experiences to our students. With this vertical alignment, there will be a thread visible to all of our students and families that goes from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade that reflects our focus and our culture. And the beauty of this is that the cost really will be none. We can use our collaboration time as a staff to complete and go through the vertical alignment process. And it's a creative and exciting process to go through. Phase 4 takes us to some program elements to acquire. One is that we need to look at how to send devices home with students. Currently, we have plenty of technology on campus and plenty of time available on campus in our computer lab for students to be able to come on campus and utilize our technology if it is challenging at home. But in looking at all of our language and our blueprint strategy for our district, there's plenty of language to support funding available to eventually get ourselves to a point where we can send devices home with students. I think since we know we are competing with charter schools that many of them have these one-to-one programs where they send devices home. I think if we're going to stay competitive with them, we need to look into this option. The cost would vary depending on which devices we choose and how many are needed. The next thing we have to look at is increasing our counseling staff. We know that right now we have a 20% counselor, and we need to bring that to at least one full-time counselor. The reason we have only a 20% counselor is based on our numbers, but we know that as an independent learning environment, we attract students for many different reasons. Some of those reasons include students, come to us after having an experience at a large comprehensive high school or a large elementary school, and our students come to us with extreme anxiety or sometimes depression, or we get medically fragile students, and we need a full-time counseling person on staff who is able to not only handle the academic side of a counselor, but also to handle the social and emotional needs of our students. So the cost for that would be one FTE, really just an increase in 80% of an FTE for that one counselor. And the next thing would be to seek community partners and student service learning opportunities for our students. Again, plenty of language in our blueprint that supports this. We want students involved in CTE opportunities in classes, and also students in elementary, middle, and high school participating in service learning projects with community groups, organizations, and businesses. This is an exciting thing to create in our community, and hopefully the cost would be low for that. And finally, we get to phase 5, which is marketing. We currently are marketing now. One thing that's important, I think, is I talked about this with rebranding, we're going to need to recreate our name. Right now in our sign and on our brochures, we call ourselves a homeschool and independent study. And that's because originally we came from a K-8 homeschool and a 9-12 independent study. But unfortunately, these two phrases are antiquated educational phrases that have connotations that are not in line with our innovative practices that we want to create now. So I would advocate for us to call ourselves an online and blended learning academy. To redo our sign, we'll either have to get it repainted or have it redone. That can range in price from $1,000 to $15,000. We also need to do marketing to attract suitable independent learning students. We need to develop an ideal VBA student profile to help counselors understand who we are.